time now. It's time now for a look at latest on local news. In the news, Wayne County Superior Court in session Monday. Headline is that District Attorney Keith Higgins has followed through on his promise that he will not prosecute any cases in which Wayne County Detective Brad Kickleiter investigated. 3 drug cases were now processed on Monday, including the cases against defendants Terrence Bennett, Ladarius Bernard Wright, and Eric England. District Attorney Keith Higgins telling Judge Guy the state will not be prosecuting these cases. The statement from the District Attorney's office is as follows, quote, "The evidence in these cases was discovered and seized through the execution of a search warrant that was obtained by the sworn statement of Deputy Brad Kickleiter of the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Kickleiter has previously included a false statement in an incident report. He has made false statements while testifying under oath at a preliminary hearing. He has included a false statement in a search warrant application, and he has made false statements when interviewed by a GBI agent. For all these reasons, Deputy Kickleiter is not a credible witness, and the state will not prosecute a criminal case that is based on his reliability or truthfulness." Again, that's the district attorney's statement. Ladarius Wright was charged with possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. Terrence Bennett charged with trafficking illegal drugs, and Eric England charged with possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. Those are the main charges against those 3 defendants, but again, all charges against the defendants have been dropped by the district attorney's office. WIFO-FM asked for a comment from Sheriff Chuck Mosley. He stated he's simply at a loss for words. He says that Detective Kickleiter was not the only investigator involved in these cases that were not processed, and he says that there are a lot of more cases involving Officer Kickleiter. Says he has a stack of those cases on his desk. It was also pointed out that despite the district attorney's statement that Detective Kickleiter lied under oath, he's not being charged, unlike former Jesup police officer Stephen Wright, who was charged with perjury after he testified in his own defense, in which the former officer Wright was found not guilty by a Wayne County jury, but were hung on other charges. Once again, the cases just dismissed on Monday are just the first of many cases involving Detective Kickleiter's investigation, who Sheriff Chuck Mosley says remains employed but is working other roles in the Sheriff's Department, but not as an investigator. Again, WIFO-FM will continue to follow the story as it develops, but again, District Attorney Keith Higgins following up on a statement that he will not prosecute any case that Detective Kickleiter was involved in here in Wayne County. Again, Sheriff Mosley says that involves a ton of cases. In other news, in court yesterday, 35-year-old Courtney Sellers pled guilty to first-degree arson, cruelty to children, and insurance fraud, charges stemming back to her arrest back on July 14th of 2023, where evidence revealed that she compelled her stepchild to start a fire inside their home for insurance money on 2 separate occasions. Sellers was in court Monday stating that she was in fact guilty of the charges, but explained to Judge Burt Guy that after the death of her daughter back in 2022, that she was on antidepressant medication, was in a bad place, going through tough times, and told Judge Guy that she was just not in her right mind at the time the crimes were committed. The plea agreement worked out with the DA's office and her appointed attorney, Jonathan Lockwood. 20 years, serve 5 in prison, and pay restitution of $5,000 to State Farm Insurance. Her attorney says she's still married, but her husband plans on divorcing her. She is to have no contact with him and one of the children involved in the case. She was given credit for time served as she's been incarcerated since her arrest. She's been in jail for 342 days. Again, she was given credit for time served, also allowed to plead under the First Offenders Act. Once again, the sentence 20 years with 5 to be served in prison. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Other news, several governmental meetings set for today. The Wayne County Board of Education will meet twice today. The first meeting set for 5 p.m. at the Tech Center. The purpose of this meeting is to hold a second public hearing on their proposed budget. At the last meeting, County Commissioner Jamie Hickox and businessman Jimbo Boykin asked some pointed questions and raised concerns about the proposed $6 million increase in the proposed budget. But again, board members and the superintendent do not address any questions posed by the public. They simply state they take the information as information, but as far as it goes, WIFO-FM asked both Jamie Hickox and Jimbo Boykin if the board ever got back with them and addressed their questions or concerns, and the answer is no. The board set to vote on the proposed budget at the monthly board meeting at their 6 p.m. meeting today. At the first reading, the board first voted 3-2 against the budget, but after an executive session, board member Tina Mosley changed her mind, and a second vote was taken, and the budget's first reading was approved by a 3-2 vote, with board members Sharon Daniel and Bruce Harris voting along with Tina Mosley to pass the first reading. Tina Mosley gave us an interview after changing her mind, stating that once Superintendent Dr. Kelly explained the budget to her, it made sense, and she voted in favor of the budget. Budget is not a topic allowed in executive session, but board members state they did not discuss it in the executive session, but the second vote was taken immediately after the first vote was 3-2 against and after the executive session. Again, WIFO-FM will be at today's meeting, have a full report on Wednesday's newscast. Also meeting tonight to discuss their budget with the City of Jesup Commission. They meet at 7 p.m. at City Hall. They also have a public hearing on their proposed budget, and the second reading is set for the meeting. First reading was approved 5-1 with Commissioner Tim Caulfield voting against. Again, other items on the city agenda, items with the city manager, items with commissioners, items with the mayor, all that tonight at 7 p.m. at City Hall. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes in the news, Chamber of Commerce getting ready for their Thursday's Legacy Dinner. It's going to take place at the barn at Live Oak Ranch on Lanesbridge Road. Semi-former attire tickets are available at the Chamber for $75 a piece. Simply stop by or call the Chamber at 912-427-2028. At the event, the annual passing of the gavel from current President Mark Watson to incoming President Preston Groover. Also, the announcements of the annual awards handed out by the Chamber, their Ambassador of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Business Leader of the Year, the Excellence in Agriculture Award, and the Distinguished Service Award, all that Thursday at the barn on Lanesbridge Road at 6 p.m. Once again, if you need more information or tickets, call the Chamber at 912-427-2028. City of Scriven gearing up for this weekend's big Independence Day celebration. The best fireworks show set for Saturday evening, June 29th, after a full day of activities, which will begin with a 1-mile walk and 5K race, which will begin at the Grace Community Center. Registration Saturday morning at 7 a.m. and the walk and run at 8 a.m. To register, call Scriven City Hall at 912-579-2211. Following that event, the grand opening of the Dollar General store at 10 a.m., located at 215 WJL Tire Street in Scriven. Then during the day, a full day of fun, vendors, music, all leading up to the fireworks show at dark. Again, all that Saturday, June 29th, this Saturday in Scriven. Weekend will kick off this Friday night, June 28th, as local band Second Chance will once again perform a dance at the Scriven Fire Department from 8 to 10 p.m. It's a free event. Hot dogs and hamburgers will be sold. All proceeds going towards the Scriven Fire Department. And all this taking place this weekend, Friday, June 28th, the band Second Chance, and then Saturday, the big event all day long, and again, the fireworks show Saturday evening. And for more information, call Scriven City Hall at 912-579-2211. Scriven Mayor Jason Weaver, our special guest today, to talk about the big weekend coming up in Scriven, Georgia. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.